Shots. I want to check out the, make sure we got sound and that we good. Okay.
All right, Shalom.
That was good.
We good? We got sound? Yeah. All right, Shalom, Shalom. We are the brothers of the Great Millstone of Branch here in Chicago. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to the 144,000 and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth. Among the heathen that look like the heathen, the Israelite foreigners. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, we say Shalom. And we're going to go in on American occultism within the government and within religions, and how all these 501c3 charter religions are all part of the government. So they really can't be for the people. And there's certain Israelite camps, that could refer to themselves as Israelites, that are definitely under the 501c3 charter, and therefore they too are a part of this occultism, which is America. And it's funny how they try to accuse the Hebrew Israelites of being a cult, when everything about America, from its corporations to its government to its religions, all Western religions are a part of occultism. And we're gonna let Mr. Jordan here, Jordan Maxwell, we're gonna let Mr. Jordan Maxwell break that information down to you. So without any further ado, as a matter of fact, let's get a scripture first. Get that Luke 12 and 12 and 2.
I got it. This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 2. It says, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known."
There it is. So you will not be able to hide the truth. You won't be able to hide the lies. The Lord is...
No, Salaki.
Go ahead, brother. You got one?
I had one real quick for you. That shit is perfect time in the lies. This is Ephesians 6 and verse 10. It says, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahweh and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places."
Sorry.
I got one if I could back them up real quick. This is Jeremiah 50 and 38. "A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols."
Right.
This whole place is all centered in witchcraft and
Idol worship.
skullduggery. Everything is symbolic around us.
Yeah, occultism and idolatry. And like I said, this quick video, it's just shy of about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But go ahead, Uriah. Let's go, DJ.
48 years of study. I'm going to give you a secret. Nothing in this world is what you think it is. Nothing operates the way you think it does. Government does not work the way you think it does.
It's not about people voting for a president.
No, it has nothing to do with that. We're talking money. We're talking control, corporations, big business, period. End of sentence. Religion is a corporation. It's all the religions of the Western world, especially in the Western world, all religions operate under maritime admiralty law. Maritime admiralty is the law of water. There are only two things on the earth: land and water. So there are two kinds of law: the law of the land and the law of water. The law of the land is the custom of the people who live on a particular piece of land. So the law of the land is different in every country. So the custom of the people living on a particular piece of land is called the law of the land. But there is also a larger, far more important law on the earth. It's called the law of the sea, the law of the water. That law is referred to in courts as maritime admiralty. Maritime admiralty is the law of water. Once you understand the law of water, it opens up a world of occult, hidden symbols and hidden foundations of how we live.
What are some of those laws that we're not aware of?
Oh, my goodness, when you walk into a courtroom, why do you go to court? You play basketball on the court. You play tennis on a court. Yeah, how do you play tennis on a court? You play with a racket. Come on. And so the judge walks out, he rules from the bench, right? Look it up in a Latin dictionary. The word bench is a bank in Latin. So the judge is ruling for the bank. That's why he wears a black robe, because the black robe represents the planet Saturn, the god of banking and law. The black robe represents the planet Saturn, who in the ancient world was called Lord of the Rings.
Ah.
Well, he is Lord of the Rings. And so women were told in the ancient world to listen to their god, so they would wear an ear ring. Men were to get married before their god, so they wear a wedding ring, because Saturn was Lord of the Rings, and he is also the inhibitor. He was the one who holds you back. He represents government, banking, the police department, all kinds of institutions that are powerful that can hold you back. He was the inhibitor, the judge, the court, the government.
The structure is
The structure,
astrology,
right.
yeah.
And so Saturn was the inhibitor who holds you back.
The truth is hidden
Stop
in
right
plain
there,
sight.
Somebody get that real quick. They kept back by fraud, all right? Because the law is set up to hold you back, especially if you Jake, all right? And there is a difference being for your listeners out there. I was explaining to the brothers when it says the law, admiralty law, and the law of the land. For example, we're in America. The law of the land is supposed to be the Constitution, but Americans don't realize that they're actually being governed by maritime law, and so is almost every nation that's involved within the EU and you know and NATO. They're being governed by maritime law, which is actually well, in America it is illegal to do it to you because the Constitution says so. All right, and I keep saying in damn near every video that I do that the last stronghold that Esau is using the Esau needs to break so he can get complete dominance over the people is to get rid of the Constitution. All right, the Constitution and the Bible are two things that are definitely in the way. So all these other nations that are part of NATO and that are part of the EU system, they're all getting screwed over the same way because the laws of your land, you think that you're being governed by the laws of your land, when you're actually being governed by this maritime law. And then in America, it's actually illegal to enter an American citizen into a foreign treaty. So a lot of things that they do to the Americans is actually entering you into a foreign treaty, a contract, but it's actually illegal to do that. And so you'll get letters from the courts doing this to you, and it's actually illegal. So this is how this man operates. He operates in deception, lies and deceptions, and you know, and keep you back before you get that scripture that I called for. They kept back by fraud.
Yeah, we'll start at verse. Well, go ahead, whoever got it, but you can start at verse 1.
This is the book of James, chapter 5, verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields.
There you go.
Which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth.
So through these maritime rules and laws that they set up, you know, and one of the things that fell under that was what is it called? The doctrine of discovery.
Right.
If I discover you, then I own you. Right. You know, I have the right to your land, to your woman, to your fields, you know, to your daughter, whatever. All right. And so they use these sort of tactics, these sort of oppressive heritage taking tactics to control and manipulate people and bring wealth to themselves. Ill-gotten wealth on top of that. All right. Brothers can let them have it, whatever you got.
I got one. This is going back to what the elder just said. It says this is Micah 2:1. It said, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And as you see, they the only ones with the power to do this. It says,
and so that's telling you in that day, we know that day is the Edomites.
That's right.
So they're still around. All right? The Edomites are identified as the wicked.
Yeah, they didn't die in no wars, man. That one great war with all Edomites was just swiped away. Now how the Lord gonna get his vengeance?
Right.
Anyway, this is Micah 2:2. It said, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage.
I got
Wait,
something in Isaiah. It's a big chunk, but I'll read fast. It's Isaiah 47:10. It says, "For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know." It says, "Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. And if so, thou shalt be able to profit. If so, that thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels."
So like I want to make a quick point on what he said, labor from thy youth. When you look at the history of America, the whole setup of Washington, Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, all those dudes was Masonic as hell, straight witches. But,
a part of this occultism.
Yep.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So a part of this governmental occultism.
Hey, what part?
Yeah.
Hey, read that part you just read. I'm talking about this.
God, it says, "Therefore shall evil," 12, it says, "Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries,
Right.
wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so, thou shalt be able to profit. If so, thou mayest prevail.
Keep going.
Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels."
Right. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Right. So he's wearied because that reminds me of the saying, "Oh, what a tangle web we weave when we first learn to deceive." You know, because now you just wearied and caught up in trying to get to your ultimate agenda, but it's like, damn, oh, I gotta cover this, like, oh shit, damn, but then about that, like, oh shit, damn, that, I gotta cover that and that. That's why so many people, even of your own people, that the commoners of the wicked that supposed to be rich with you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why they tell him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why the scripture says how that, hey, their own tongue shall fall upon themselves. Because they like, nah, man, we didn't get a piece of the, you know what I'm saying, the billions and the trillions and the...
We can't keep up with the lies you tell us.
The reporter that asked Nancy Pelosi said, how come NFL players or basketball players, they can't basically bet on their performance, but you guys have insider trading. So they know that this is secret intel, and they know that Esau has been doing this for the longest. So like you said, now the commoner, that's his, like, hey, we're all the 1%. No. Your people just cut you out, and you're salty about it.
Yep. This is Daniel 8:23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
Go back and read verse 21 and 22.
Con. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia.
So these are the Edomites.
Yep. That's right.
This was talking about Edom.
That's right. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nations, but not in his power.
So that was Alexander and then his 4 generals. All right, you can't get around this, man. The Edomites are in rulership.
Yep.
And this down to this day.
And this is
in my Bible. You know, those are all highlighted in red. I put all Edomite scriptures in red.
And it says when they took over, how evils began to multiply.
That's right.
In the earth.
That's right.
Yep. Well, go ahead.
And this is the part of their image. All right. This is part of the beats. What they did back in Greece, when it came, then eventually to Rome, and eventually when it was wounded, and now it got healed again. It's the whole system again, and it's hiding behind the scenes. You think of that Julius Caesar and the different Caesars that were ruling, where they were just the face. They got that back from the Medo-Persians when they said they had different presidents in the book of Daniel. I believe I forgot what chapter. 6th chapter, 4th chapter, something like that. When and King Darius, he was the real head. He set up presidents and governors and princes, and they were the face, so the king would have no damage. It's the same system that they have set now. So what really goes on, as the Edomite said on the video, is they give a pseudo world of that you think this is what is really going on. Oh, this is my rights, nigga. You ain't got no damn
Yeah,
rights.
right, exactly. All the voting,
The black vote.
you know,
Shut
the
up,
voting,
nigga.
which is all just a waste of time because the electoral college decides who's going to be get into office.
And guess who runs the electoral college? The Democrats run theirs, and the Republicans run theirs. There's no oversight. It's
But then
bullshit.
who run them? It's the elites.
Exactly.
So there it is.
Yeah,
You know
So
what
when
I'm
we
saying?
tell you that, you know, the whole Democratic Republican system are just two wings on the same hateful bird. They're part of the same body.
It's the best way to put it.
And give you an illusion of choice.
Exactly, to basically to appease the people.
Exactly.
So like that, it's basically what's happening is Esau is giving the Americans the controller that don't work,
right. We talking about
and they playing the game,
Yeah, right. Thinking they killing
and
it.
they think they're getting down.
It's the computer versus you and
Why,
shit.
Right.
why is that on top of the Israeli Supreme Court? Is is right here is the eye that
But those
eye,
are the people of the Lord.
and this the eye the pyramid.
And then all seeing eye.
That's
eye
all
of Horus.
said, right. It's right there on top of the Israeli Supreme Court. It's that same eye that's running. Flip this around.
That's the same pyramid that's on the back of the dollar bill.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it was interview. It was back in the '80s with Donald Trump. I think he was on Larry King Live. And he was talking about being the president. And years later, he became president. To show you they playing this decades in
That's right. Obama was days about 20, 30 years before he was made president. He was groomed all that time.
I got a precept. This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and writes grievousness which they have prescribed. All these unrighteous decrees they putting out anyway, you know, to try to start this NWO, you know. That's what's going to lead up to the MOTV and all the things that y'all saying, you know, because this devil ready to come down with this great rap. He's ready to put destruction in this place. Because, you know, time running out. Especially you seeing more videos with the AI. They got AI robots at football games and stuff. They say it's for quote unquote this movie supposed to be getting set up, but hey, we already know what. No, they right. This movie is being set up. It's the Lord's movie, right? They right.
Kind of laying back off what Uriah said about Barack Obama. You know they and then this is what Esau does because he was groomed to be president, and it's clear to see that. And so then they make a movie and fabricate a story about his life because the whole world knows he's a Mo. Yeah. And that Big Mike, his wife Michelle, you know, so that means they fabricated a whole movie about this woman that don't even exist. You know, exactly.
You think that's a deno? A lot of Jay think that's a deno.
No, the Big Mike.
Big Mike. Yeah. Because John Rivers spoke out.
Yeah, and she ended up dead shortly
He got pictures, brother, that go
I
back.
seen him spar. He had a cup on.
And all the moles that came forth and said how they had relations with him. A lot of them guys turned up dead too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Trinity, the choir
Jeremiah
director.
Wright.
Yeah,
Jeremiah Wright. He the preacher down there. He said he was a Mo.
Still got some more on that though.
Yeah. This is Isaiah 47 and 13. It says, "For thou art weird in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from the things that shall come upon thee." All right, and I'm gonna get right here. Nahum, it's Nahum 3. It talks about this place being the mother of harlots. All right, it says in the enchantments, in thy whoredoms. Okay, it says Nahum 3 and 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. So again, like the brother said, there's no secret that although they sold you the story that America was going to be founded on Christian ideals, the more you go into it, the symbology, the school setup, hell, the elders went to the Skull and Bones, and basically what they retrieved is that on top of those secret societies, once people started catching up and those were mainstream, they went occult and did like basically sub programs to be able to get once they started catching on with George W. and then George H. because Herbert, which is the father, Senior, set that all up for Junior, and like the elder had mentioned, If you had Donald Trump talking about being a president in the 80s, it wasn't so far-fetched. If everything that we know has done, like you said, they groomed Barack Obama to sound like Jake, to pretend. You know what I'm saying? How much more?
Harry Lennox.
Right there you go. You know,
Harry Lennox was his groomer, and if you ever watch the actor Harry Lennox and you watch Obama, their mannerisms, their speech pattern, the whole is exactly the same.
Keep hitting, Tony.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, he did.
This is the bag of what Mataz had said, which is basically this isn't nothing new because it all leads to trying to get up under that one world government ruled by the elite banking families and this, that, and other in the first place. But this goes all the way back to the Maccabees. Maccabees 1 and 41. Moreover, King Antiochus, a Edomite, wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites considered to his religion and sacrifice unto idols and profane the Shabbat. And for the king has sent letters by message to Jerusalem and to cities of Judah that they shall follow the strange laws of the land. It's not they claim it as a law of the land, but it's a maritime law.
This is First Maccabees 8 and 1. Now Judas had heard of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them. And that's that whole Babylonian mindset of build the Tower of Babel, one world government,
integration,
and make a league of amity with all that came unto them.
But with us on top.
Exactly.
See, that's always been the Edomite way. We're going to all come together as one.
Yes.
Me on top, but we're all going to come together as one.
It's my idea.
Right.
So I must lead it.
Well, see, they're the wicked, and they're basically, trying to play God, and so they're trying to, have like God, the Most High God. He controls both sides,
That's
the
right.
right hand and the left hand side. You know what I'm saying? And so here it is, the wicked. They want to control everything, but again, with wickedness on top.
That's right.
And them ruling with their wicked way.
That's right.
And so this is what their MO is. You know.
And that they were men of great.
Like I always say, it's no thing of wanting to be on top and be the ruler, but then once you on the top and you ruling, well, how you gonna rule?
That's right.
Are you gonna rule in wickedness, or are you gonna rule in unrighteousness, which is going your own way, or you gonna rule with the most powerful way?
That's right.
The Creator's way.
And that's why King Solomon, when he came before the Lord, and he said, "Man, how can I lead so great of a people? You to get righteous judgment. You got to teach them the judgment,
Right?
So I can, know how to lead."
Right.
And Esau, Edom, they go after their own vain opinion. They go whatever. They of their own the belly. They go after the belly.
And because we have a ruling class.
They follow not the light.
That's right.
Exactly. See, we have a ruling class mentality too.
That's right.
You see, we want to rule too. But the way we want to rule is with the righteousness of the Most High God.
That's right.
The morality of the Most High God. You see, they want to rule in exact opposite of that to produce what we have going on in the world, a living hell.
And that's why they got to keep changing the laws and whatnot.
Exactly. But when we rule, all right, in every geographical location, it's going to be the same rules.
And I've often heard people say, especially when they try to excuse or get around the Bible, well, we have to adjust to the now times.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, no.
How about you?
I said we're still on Bible time.
That's
I don't
right.
know what you thought.
He said he's the same yesterday, today, and forever.
Yeah, we're still on Bible time. Well, that was during Bible times. It's Bible times now.
Right.
We're the latter days. Do you understand what latter means?
It's still
all right. So you're right. All the movies you watched, which were all lies, and all the stories you heard, and all and all the shit you heard in Sunday school. All right, that was at that time, but we're still in Bible times.
Well, it says that the word of God endures forever.
Come.
So we in Bible times for eternity.
Exactly. Does it not say that that 1,000 years is one day to the Lord? 1,000 years to us is one day to the Lord.
Not one jot.
So it's been a little over 2 days. So the Lord is still pissed. Hey, look, if somebody popped you in your face, you know, and if 10 years ago you still mad at you when you think
When you
about it. 20 years ago you still mad about it when you think about
The
it.
two that
Right?
person.
So how much more you gonna be, you know, somebody just punched you, you know, 2 days ago, that shit fresh in your mind, man.
And you still got the wound.
You still got a black eye. You looking in the mirror mad as hell, you know?
And
You know, so I don't know what makes you think that we're not in Bible times.
Well,
Well, you still got stuff in the Old and New Testament that hasn't been fulfilled.
exactly.
That's right.
That's Bible times. As a matter of fact, the kingdom of heaven, the eternal righteous kingdom, that's going to be Bible times because that's the will of the Father.
That's right.
And it talks about it in the Bible.
And it said it's going to be an everlasting kingdom forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So the Bible is going to be in rulership forever and ever and ever and ever.
That's it.
And that they, I'm going to go jump back to verse 2, it's a little bit more in there. And that they were men of great valor, and it was told him of also of their wars and noble acts which they had done amongst the Galatians. Amongst the Galatians, and how they had conquered them and brought them under tribute, and what they had done in the country of Spain.
And I believe the Galatians were the Gauls, if I'm not
The
mistaken.
Celts.
Yeah.
And what they had done in the country of Spain for the winning of the mines of the silver and gold which is there. So they go and go over to America to go get the gold. They're going to go over here to Africa to go get the gold and the diamonds, and they go to the different lands to steal their precious resources. This is their MO. And that by their policy and patience, they had, and see, Esau's so patient.
Right.
You go back to the Rothschilds, going back to the fort, was it the 1500s, the 1500s, when they started, they established, when they came out of the pit, all right, and they, Meyer Amschel Bauer, he started the banks of London, the banks of the 4 or 5 banks were, and then he gave it over to his sons. They said, no, we don't do this. He said, I can't give me control of the money. I care not who is king, because they know all the kings who have to come to him for the money to finance the wars.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So they set these.
President Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah.
And that other.
And they show you that in some of these, in these period pieces.
Miss.
You know,
Yeah,
because
Napoleon.
in this period, and they show you that in the, and what was the show that came out a couple years ago? It was real popular. The
Tudors or Game of Thrones?
The Game of Thrones. You had the one group of people. They were what was it, the Lannisters?
The Lannisters.
They who always pays your debts.
Always.
All right.
pays their debts.
They were trying to get a league with the Iron Bank. It was
Yep.
called the Iron Bank. All right.
And they'd give them soldiers whatever they want.
They were right. And then the Iron Bank even had his own army.
Yep.
So they were called the Golden something. All these do with the gold
The
armor.
Golden Company.
So when you could, so when you actually could hire with the, so if the Iron Bank was behind you, you know, they would actually send the Golden Company to come fight for you. You know, because they were trying to protect their investment. All right.
That's right.
I got
Yes.
a quick one.
Go ahead, brother.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 22:7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. So he who controls the money is the one who's in power, man. Plain and simple shit.
That's it.
And all this, once again, just like Mr. Maxwell said, this is all occultism.
Yep.
Yeah, especially when it's a time of need. That's how Egypt got popular. See, I wish I remember the name of the documentary. I think it's called Patterns of Evidence, Exodus. And they was going to Egypt. It basically was 12 nodes or 12 different what's the word I'm looking for? Divisions. Basically 12 different divisions, right? And when it became the Empire of Egypt, it was when the resources failed, the land went through famine, resources failed, and the only people that had resources was what we call today the Pharaoh of Egypt.
That's mine.
And how did that happen was through the vision that was given to Joseph. And what did it say in the scriptures on it, man? All right, the people came, they said, well, we don't have such and such. Take our land, take our cattle. We are the land and cattle. Take us.
Right.
And that's when it became the empire, all right, of Egypt.
And this is modern day Egypt again. This is spiritual Egypt according to the book of Romans. See, the Most High looks at America and calls it modern day Egypt, calls it modern day Babylon, calls it the Chaldeans, the Sodom and Gomorrah, the Assyrians, the Nineveh, the ancient Nineveh. It takes all these the different elements that you worked in these other nations and use it for as means to lord over the people.
We got a quick one. This is Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Right.
So of course the way that they rule, it's just a way to end in a downfall and ultimately death. But the point is that it says riches got by deceit. You see, and just like Jordan Maxwell was saying, everything, you can't trust nothing that they say, and every, whether it's the medical industry, whether it's the education industry, whether it's whatever industry, it's
you name
all
it. You name it.
You name it. It's all deceit. It's all lies. All right. It's all just backwards, man. That's why the scripture says, "Surely your turning of things upside down will be esteemed as the potter's clay." All right, because ultimately the Most High is sending His Son to turn things right side up.
You see, and that policy, back to what First Maccabees 8:4, and that by their policy and patience they have conquered all the place, though it be very far from them. And the kings also that came against them from the uttermost parts of the earth, till they had discomfited them and given them a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute every year. Just the same MO. You don't see the American government, they can send just one little battalion of 200, 300, 400, set up a little military base, and then they can vex you from there. They can send a drone over there. They can sit over there and drop down a nuke on the atomic bombs on Hiroshima, Nagasaki. They do their campaigns, and now the next country, like what the Americans say, look, man, don't make us do what we did over to Japan or your ass. Okay, and then they'll sit there and make agreements with them because they took over the whole world. So Edom has taken over the whole land.
Different address, same guys.
Right. I got a scripture.
This is
Looks like Benji, you want to say something?
It's all good. Y'all better.
I got a scripture. This is Psalm 73. And okay, 73. I'm gonna start at 7. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish. They are corrupt. They speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. So to them, they tell us what this is where you want to go. This is how you want to go. We're going to put this in you. You're going to be part of the digital network. The Internet of Things, and you're going to be good. But that's oppression. They're trying to get everybody hook, line, and sinker to go into this thing with them.
This is our enemy. This is Deuteronomy 28.
The brother Shema has something out there.
This is Genesis 47:15. It says, and when money failed in the land of Egypt, and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money failed. And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle, the herds, and for the asses, and he fed them with bread for all the cattle for that year.
Right, and Esau knows this. That's what it means to be part of the enlightened ones. All right, to be Lucifer.
That's right.
All right, it takes to be wise men. Ariella read it. Isaiah 47. Go to your prognosticators. These are your wise men. The it says it calls America Babylon, the beauty of the Chaldees. Who are the Chaldees? These was the wise men of the land. America basically was a big science project made by the cultists, but made by wise men. So they know all these things. They set everything in motion and they understand reincarnation. They knew they'd come back. They knew to make sure our children are set up, keep this in the family. That's why they really did. A lot of them.
But then they deny reincarnation outwardly, but they know it's real.
They know it, yeah. Hey, but going to what, just laying back and real quick on Benji, it goes back to the wise steward. That a wise steward. That's why he said the children of this generation are wiser than the children of light. You niggers are stupid.
That's right.
You saw niggas too. You are stupid.
It says he's wiser than Dan. So he set this all in motion.
Intelligent search.
Yeah. And you know what too? there's tarot cards in every Edomite neighborhood.
That's it.
Every
No matter
single one of them.
Whatever Edomite neighborhood you're in, there are tarot card readings.
Bro can't look down.
All right, in the wealthy neighborhoods, in the middle class, and the poor Edomite neighborhoods, you always have tarot card readings.
And there's power on the left hand side that they play with. You got to go back to Moses.
Occultism.
Exactly.
All a part of it's occultism. What they want to call the Hebrew Israelites a cult. Christianity is the biggest cult. And it's a part of the government,
That's it.
which is a cult.
That's right. If you saw the Egyptians that threw the rods down and turned to the snakes, motherfuckers still got power like that today. They got power on the left hand side, man. All right.
Hey, real quick, Shimon, I'm getting right back to you. This is Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. They shall be given into his hand until the time and times, and the dividing of time. So, Matthias read Isaiah 10 earlier. A key point to that Isaiah 10 was, it's to oppress us.
That's it.
So they push all these lies out there, outwardly to us. Meanwhile, they know a lot of secrets. Now, he is the father of lies. He's, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. He's off on a lot of shit. He has a lot of understanding on different things. He knows how to, he did a diligent search on sin. He knows how to get you to go off. So even though he knows in the background, he's doing sacrifices. He's worshiping the stars. He's accusing us to the Most High, making sure our people are tweaking and shit. All right?
Trying to compare us to the KKK.
Right.
Right. We ain't hung, murdered, raped, took no land, abused, none of that.
Yeah, and then they tell us God ain't real. But then they put in the movie, the Mist, the God of the Israelites. He's a vengeful God.
The money.
Yeah, they know. Yeah, the God of the slaves.
God ain't real, but you changed the Bible.
Yeah.
Then when he said it in that scene, that's the only God that worked.
Yeah.
Because he came with the items first.
Right.
Then when he said the God of the slave, he's that money, he turned around, which shows you that they understand the Lord. Salaki, you said what?
No, I'm just going to land back on what you were saying. When he spoke the Hebrew,
Yeah.
even though it was a Yiddish, but when he spoke the Hebrew, that's what made the mummy respond to him.
Yeah.
He said the language of the slaves.
Yeah.
And then he said, and then what did he say? I can use you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And this James 2:19.
Yep.
Thou believest that there is one God, thou do as well. The devils also believe and tremble. There's two types of people on this earth that knows the truth. Us and them. Remember, Satan, the old serpent called the devil.
That's right.
It's Adam. All right. All right. Hey, he said he had the knowledge of the tree of good and evil. So he knows of what's right. But he goes and does what? What's wrong. He's the ruler of sin. All right, so Esau got this playbook. He knows to control the resources, but he knows to crumble the system around those resources, and you're going to give your body over. All this shit leads to the mark of the beast. All right, this is Esau's end goal. He can't do nothing. He can't stop it. He can't make himself on anything else. He has a God complex, and he has to rule over everything in his mind.
Yeah.
The last thing he don't own is you.
For none. All right. Esau's for none. My favorite movie is The Count of Monte Cristo. All right. And that was Fanon. Fanon got away, and he rode back on his horse and went to his death because he tried to face Dantes, and he came back. And he said, I couldn't live in a world where you had everything and I had nothing. All right, and that's Esau Edom. Because he had everything, but, everything was taken from him. And it was taken from him worse than it was. He took it unrighteously, all right, but then it was taken away from him in the same manner. All right, and he lost his woman, too. And that's what he said. He came back to actually have to duel with them because he was going to ride away, and he came back. He said, I couldn't live in a world where you had everything and I had nothing. And that's Esau Edom.
So like, this Esther 5.
He lost back the birthright.
This Esther 5. And I'm going to start at 9. I'm going to try to flow through it, brother Salakia. I ain't trying to Nazariah y'all, brothers. Esther 5 and 9. Then went Haman forth that day joyful and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai. And Haman is an Edomite. This is the Edomite spirit right here I'm about to read into.
God.
I'm going to read it's going to say it. Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself, and when he came home, he sent and called for his friends and to arrest his wife. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children. I got all this money.
Right.
Look at my handsome sons and my beautiful daughters, nice and red, right? And all the things,
God,
if
no.
it ain't white, it ain't right now. And all the things are
I claim his daughters, though.
we're going to share them. All the things wherein the king had promoted him, he was advanced in the kingdom. Or that's the next line. How he advanced him above the princes and servants of the king. He was number 2, basically. Haman said, moreover, yeah, Esther, the queen, did let no man come with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared but myself. And tomorrow am I invited to her also with the king. Like it's me, the king, and her. It's just us three, nobody else. Look how wrong I am, right? Yeah, yet all this availeth me nothing. So long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate.
Damn.
See now,
Wow.
Now that matches up with this right here in Maccabees, 2 Maccabees 13 and 18. They were this one, Antiochus, the Ptolemies, they're trying to take over and conquer. They were in their conquering stage to set up. This is between the Grecian Empire and the Roman Empire. And this is in verse 18. Now, when the king had taken a taste of the manliness of the Jews, they were, because through Judas they were whipping his ass. The Lord gave the spirit of Judas to keep defeating them at that time. He went about to take the holds by policy. He knew that he couldn't beat them with his strength, so he said, you know what, we're going to beat them with policy. You know what I'm saying? And so they'll go to tactics and say, well, let's use craft to go ahead and get them. Because we can't get them through straight pure might.
Yep.
You know, through his policy, you should cause craft to prosper. That's that Daniel 8:25. Esau's a wise man, and that wisdom, what it say, it perverted him. That's why you think he's God. You know, he done got elevated. Which the Lord is the reason you got elevated. Thou shalt build. The Lord gave you the commandment. But you forgot about the second part of manifest destiny.
God, I was just about to say it, brother. Yeah, that whole manifest destiny doctrine of discovery bullshit. There's a part 2. You didn't read the fine print.
That's it.
Yep. This is Ezekiel 35:10. Because thou hast said, these 2 nations and these 2 countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. So Esau whole mindset just want to fuck us over, rule over us. They want to get rid of us. Psalms 83, but they can't. So they'll be satisfied with ruling over us and us not know who the fuck we are. Right? But this is what the Lord say. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. And I'll make myself known among them when I have judged thee. So you're about to pay for this shit, Esau. Go, use all the witchcraft you want. Go sacrifice more babies. All right? Go toss more Keishas and Tyrones into the fucking nigga nuggets, man. That's not going to stop the Lord from jacking you up. Right. Go ahead, push your chip out there. Be here to whoever don't take it. That's not going to stop the Lord from setting up his son, Yahushua, and his kingdom, all right? And his kingdom belongs to him and the Israelites, man.
Yeah, you being delusional ain't going to help you either.
Right. So go ahead, make your move, man. We tell you the whole plan. You can't do nothing about it.
That's right.
You're still going to do it. Like, why am I still pressing this button? Because that's the Lord wants you to do.
That's that second measure. They be scared, but thirst fight.
Yep.
This is who the scripture says, who can resist his will? You can't. All right. This is the Most High's movie, the Most High show, and he's the Father of spirits, man. All right.
That Speckle Bird, Larry Bird, he tell Jay how you gonna mess up in the video in the basketball game and shit. He'll Jake himself. He said, yeah, I'm gonna hit this shot and that shot. Anything you can do about it. I'm
gonna take this foot and walk it on that side of your face.
Bring it up. I got one for you. This is Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish that which I
see. The Most High said, "I'm telling you the end from the beginning." Right. All right. So the Lord set up the perfect devil, which is you, so-called Esau, Edom. All right. The so-called white man. You're red with your red and pink flesh. All right. The Lord, and the Most High had to make it epic. You know what I'm saying? This is all part of our training. So we learn how to live, move, and have our being within righteousness with the Most High, and how not to be. You're the perfect blueprint of what not to be for every kingdom that's ever to come. That's why there's going to be an everlasting memorial of fire and an everlasting desert, so people will hiss when they go past Babylon, as the scriptures say. When they pass by out of the destruction, for all the wickedness is done unto the world, man.
It's a memorial, like Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's right.
Exactly.
See the results, man. What not to be, man.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
You touched to add something?
Yeah. This is Joel 20 and 22. And the fullness of his sufficiency, he should be in straits. Every hand of the wicked should come upon him. That wicked is talking about labor. So everybody's about to attack this man.
Yeah, they already speaking against them. You got South Africans making, and I'm not even talking about, there's a lot happening in South Africa. I think about it then. I was just talking about the one bitch that made the speech that's supposed to be a comedian. She ain't funny. But like, don't come to our land and act like you the savior, and then we come up there to your land, you just the devil. Don't do that then. You're confusing us. But the whole world are calling you colonizers, man.
Yeah. And he about to be taken down out of his seat. You know, he
My bad. It's my fault. And if I can interject, that's what they're doing in South Africa right now, is overthrowing Esau, Edom there as we speak. A lot of them, they're taking these Edomites and bringing them out, and just killing them and taking back the land. Yeah, I was about to say the farms. They got chopping them up. They got markers of every Edomite that's being killed. It's a whole road.
It's almost like a media blackout on that.
Yes.
Because they don't want to know that, they don't want to really show that that's being done to white people at this time and age. But it's going to be so-called white people. But that's going to start happening worldwide eventually.
This would have never happened.
And a lot sooner than you might believe.
Yeah, so they not rise up suddenly that shall vex thee, man.
That's right, brother.
Yeah, he's about to get blew down, man. So verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High Power God should cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. And he think he gonna be, hey, I got everything while I want. He chilling, drinking his wine, eating his food, thinking everything.
That Job 18, somebody can grab it. Because what's really about to happen is that that portion of Esau being chased out of the world, the South Africans and them Edomites in Africa are experiencing that. You know, that's coming into play with them, but it's going to come into play with all the Edomites in Europe and all in America and across the world, wherever they are. They're going to really it's going to be horrible. It's going to happen to them down in South America.
We saw weak. This would have never happened. This would have never happened with none of the Bushes in control, man. That's how you know America's weak, bro. Both of the Bushes would have killed any Arab, anybody speak against America, man. This is gonna happen.
Declare war.
Yeah. Low key, even Trump, he went on the stage. And he said America first. He pushed Europeans out the way, fixed this motherfucking shit up.
Popped his collar when he pushed them off.
Biden ass old and frail, man.
Oh, he's gonna fall over. They push his ass.
Right, Biden ass falling up the stairs.
When he said he was in the middle of a press conference and asked a question, he said, "Now I don't know about you, but I'm about to go to bed. I'm gonna go to sleep." This nigga's gone, man.
That nigga fell off his bicycle.
That nigga Vladimir Putin in a different spirit.
Riding on horses.
Shirt off.
Shirt
He's so wicked, bro, that he got the gi pants on with the belt. With the shirt off. He ain't even got the gi on, but he still got the belt to let you know I'll whoop your ass, so. And he got a little 20-something-year-old bitch pregnant. Look, man. Bring it on. Running around with his team, jogging through the forest and shit. I sound like this nigga.
This is Job 18 and 5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast them down.
And that's what's happening. Because, lots of Americans are starting, there's a certain oppressive mechanism in America which is starting to fail.
That's right.
All right, because they keep changing it in different states, and eventually, because it's illegal, and Americans are waking up to it. And one of that being the Title 4D and the different things concerning the tax laws. That's why do you think they're arming the IRS with 40 millimeter machine guns.
Yeah.
All right. Why are they giving them 40 millimeter machine guns to the IRS? What do the IRS need? And the IRS, as a matter of fact, is one of those maritime admiralty, conglomerates, because the IRS shouldn't even, nor the IRS, which is a part of the Federal Reserve, shouldn't even exist according to the Constitution.
Right.
The law of the land forbids that.
It's a private corporation.
So you're letting So you're letting this private corporation, which is a part of this cultism of admiralty law, rule here in the land of America, and which has ruined many lives including those of self-proclaimed white people.
That's right.
They're becoming victims
of their
own folly.
Mm-hmm. This is Obadiah 1:1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and that's a report, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Because behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. All right, and this is verse. I'm gonna jump down to verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy. You can go to Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Here is that's all the nations. All right, the United Nations. Okay, that's in UN over there in New York. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men, and when you bring someone to the borders, that's another way of saying to fight in war.
Yep. Yeah, to push him in the edge.
Right, to push you to the edge. But also back in the ancient world, when they had fought, the men went to the borders of the town with their tanks and the guns, or their soldiers, and the other town, the neighboring town. That's how they would war.
When you saw, armies meet in the middle of the battlefield with sword and spear.
That's right.
They met, they didn't wait for you to come into that land. If that was the case, they're being invaded.
Exactly.
So they
go out there and meet y'all.
Right. Exactly. So they would come past their borders and meet.
That's right. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. They started following your MO, Esau, and prevailed against thee. That's doing the BRICS right now. The Britain, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South, and the what?
And guess what?
Even with the EU.
Guess what? 70% of the world
has joined
onto
That's
BRICS.
right, brother. That's right.
70%
That's right.
of the world
It's
has joined
over,
onto
man.
BRICS. So this place is done.
That's right. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound.
So just know, brothers, whatever oppression you under, one way or another, that oppression is going to end. This place cannot stand. It's going down. Right? So that means R. Kelly is not going to die in jail. He's going down the streets.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
They got to let the pipe out of prison, man.
They got to do it, man.
They that eat thy bread, that your money, your system, have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. All right? And that's now the OPEC.
Keep reading to verse 9, brother.
Con.
Yeah, the UN. See, the thing is, them relationships were fragmented, and guess what? Biden didn't make them any better, which shows you that this was all part of the collective system of them breaking up. When Donald Trump got out there and talked and spoke about those countries not paying their due diligence in defense, all that started the framework of what's fucking fragmenting NATO and the UN. I mean, NATO and the EU now. These allies that were there for years, right? The Treaty of Rome, these Edomites that collectively enjoyed dominion are now are fragmented. So guess what? Their own people they spend on defense. What did Donald Trump? These other countries they have to carry their own weight, which started the framework of the division, which a house divided cannot stand.
Perfect. Shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom? And understanding out of the mount of Esau, and thy mighty men, O T-man, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
Oh, yeah.
You want to keep reading?
No, that's good. I want to read this. Actually, I'm gonna make this last. So any brothers got some great, keep them coming.
I got a precept. This is Hosea 10 and 13. Ye have plowed wickedness, ye have reaped iniquity.
Perfect.
Ye have eaten the fruit of lies, because thou didst trust in thy way, and the multitude of thy mighty men. Therefore shall a tumult arise among thy people, and all thy fortresses shall be spoiled, as Shalman spoiled Beth Harbel in the day of battle. The mother was dashed in pieces upon her children. So shall Bethel do unto you, because of your great wickedness. In the morning shall the king of Israel be utterly cut off, because that's what happened to us. But now that we're in this kingdom, all the wickedness that Edom has done, You know, from the start of this place, now you see the fruition of it, and it is destroying this place.
Yeah, because it's being brought out. We've been through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai was awakened, and now all of it's coming out.
Right. I saw a video called, well, some Edomites explaining what is critical race theory.
Right.
If critical race theory is nothing. What it is critical race historical facts.
Right.
Right. Things that actually happen. It's not no fucking theory, man.
Right. The KKK wasn't a fucking theory.
Right. All right. Hanging and it wasn't a theory.
Right.
And we're still gonna be caught
quartering tying Native Americans to 4 horses and making them run in 4 different directions.
We're still
wasn't a theory.
Jim Crow was not a theory.
All right.
We're
Jim
still
Crow
in their
was not a
head.
theory.
Us picking your tobacco fields, the niggas and slavery being the catalyst that made America great in the world trade economy. That's not a theory, man.
That's right.
America's the leader of world trade. All right, they the head of this shit because of slavery.
Yeah, and
because whatever was big business, all right, whatever was trending in that time, how was it produced? Off our backs.
That's right.
When it was tobacco, we did it. When it was sugar, we did it. When it became textiles, we did it, man.
Exactly. And they refused to let us go. They still got us, and we're still doing it to this day. It has not changed, man. All
yeah,
right?
because they lock guys up.
That's what I was trying to say.
You know, they railroaded so many jigs to jail, and then they need big business get all this labor damn near for free for cents on the dollar, man.
Right?
Yeah. See, well, even the money they give us now, it's for even the East. I was watching the Edomite sigh and cry like we played a couple of weeks ago. It was another one I saw, and they have the same story that all JCAP. We actually make just enough money to pay our bills, and usually not enough.
Edomites are making that same cry loudly.
Yes. Yep.
Loudly. You just look up rants on can't make ends meet.
Yes.
And white people.
Or
Yes.
rants, right? And
white women. And look at the comment boards.
White women
Yes.
and a lot of white women and a lot of so-called black women. They're the main ones complaining. You know, I make six figures and I still can't make ends meet.
You're a fucking clown.
You know
know how to manage your money. These women.
Absolutely.
This is why you need it,
because they want to live above their
Exactly.
means.
Absolutely.
That's
Always do.
what the problem is.
Should have been satisfied. You see, you women are chasing something you're never gonna find. Genesis 3:16 says your desire. Genesis 3:16, your desires to your husband. You can never feel that gaping hole inside of you. That you feel unsatisfied. You don't know what's going on. It's because you're supposed to be married. All right, you're supposed to love, and you're supposed to love it. You love serving your husband. Love when he manages you. Now we're gonna do this with this savings. He's just so masculine. Look how he's commanding the room. His presence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tell
On the
me what
other
the
side
fuck
of
to
that,
do.
when you soft ass niggas go against that Genesis 3:16 and you chase your woman and you try to appease her and put your head up her ass, it don't work because the Lord said she's supposed to serve you. And when you do that bitch ass shit, you gonna lose every time. Every time. Hey, and even a lot of jakes in the motherfucking cap. Fuck that, it's on.
Hey.
I don't know which Bible y'all reading.
Isn't that what Steve Harvey did? Put that woman first.
Man, he got the bitch back. He's still with us.
The nigga that made that song is out here down bad. Jaheim.
Yeah. He ain't sweating no more.
He homeless. He put her first and she put him last.
She put him out.
There it is.
Put her first. She put him out.
Yeah, put him out.
I can't remember.
He's singing at the homeless camp and the garbage can.
Yeah, like New Jack City over.
Right, the garbage can fire with all the homeless people. He's singing to them.
Harmonizing really good.
Oh, fuck no. Around the garbage can with fire.
I've got a scripture though that
Bring it out.
what you were saying. You're right. This is 1 Maccabees chapter 2 verse 10. What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? We were spoiled by everybody. Everybody got rich off the backs of the Israelites.
And even
this
more
time
so,
around.
even more so when we got here to America.
Absolutely.
We opened up talking about snowfall.
Come.
So that's not a theory. You really did that shit. Snowfall really happened. All right. You brought the CIA, one of your alphabet
organizations,
brought in coke via the military, via planes, all right, into Mexico, and then the Mexicans brought it into America, all right, and then you went and handpicked a young, smart, intelligent Negro who got kicked out of college on some racial shit. So how smart he was, and used him to become a damn drug king. All right, and end up destroying his own community, and then that shit spread across the whole country. And the same shit was happening in the Northern Kingdom community with the same crack.
Well, they went in Central South America and basically fucked over all those so-called democracies in order
they
for
were
them
setting up puppet governments.
That's right.
That's what they were doing, overthrowing governments. And one of the drug dealers said, "Damn, you more gangster than me."
He said, "I got to flip," and then they killed him.
And then all that cartel violence, all that chainsaw people in half mentality, saw people's necks off with knives and shit. And all this wicked shit that was going on as a result of it, with the women prostituting themselves. You know, a woman, she got a baby on one titty and a pipe in her mouth. All right. As soon as you take the pipe out of her mouth, she got a dude's pipe in her mouth, so she can pay to put the pipe back in her mouth. All right. Meanwhile, the baby's still on the titty, all fucked up because it's getting damn crack milk.
That's it.
All right. And so you really destroyed these people, man.
That's right.
That's why.
And that's not fucking theory.
That's right.
Y'all did that shit, man.
Reaganomics is real, man.
You know, and then you set up a prison.
down.
Then you set up a pipeline. Somebody get Isaiah 32, 6 and 7. We're gonna close with that. But then you set up. Oh yeah, that one that the brother had put up. All right, and then you railroaded. Then you set up the system to railroad people to jail, man, and make all kind of money off.
Yep, 500 to 1.
Yes.
That was that's the ratio of crack years versus cocaine. It's 500 to 1.
That's
The
wild.
amount of coke you would need to receive the same amount of time for crack is 500 times the amount, Elder.
Right.
They did. I was just watching that video. They went to the actual numbers on the shit.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do
Powder coke is the rich white man drug.
Yeah.
But still was devastating and killing people, giving them heart attacks and all kind of shit. I just watched one of them damn shows where a woman's nose is all fucked up and the doctors knew what it was from.
Yeah,
he broke down the 3 things that'll do that to your nose. And the last one he said is you did a lot of coke. And she was like, yeah. Partying? She was like, yeah, I partied a lot. He's like, she said no. She said I partied a little. He said a little. That shit was all.
He looked at her nose. I seen it. The bitch had the nose in here. He looked at her. He said a little.
Right. Yeah.
She's sitting over there. In oblivious, in a line of fucking man face. Horrible, man.
He looking up. He looking at her nose. He was pouring the lining out the fucking nose. Girl with that shit.
Fuck.
You got some, Chris?
Yeah, I had some real quick because all what y'all talking about, because the scripture said that's what this devil was going to do when he gets raised up into power. This Revelation 6 and 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red. You know, Genesis 25th chapter describes Esau, which is Esau is Edom. It describes him as being red, not white. So it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him by the Most High to take, and that sat there to take peace from the earth. So you got all this wickedness and all this bad shit going on. It says this devil's been in power, man. All right. It said he would be raised up to take peace from the earth. And that sound to take peace from earth, and that they should kill one another, and it was given unto him a great sword, which that was a blessing given to him by Isaac. A sword.
That's right.
I got a quick one, Lord. This Revelations 12 and 9. And the great dragon was cast out, an old serpent called the devil and Satan, which is this deceiver, which deceiveth the whole world. He cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him, because the devil was going down, because he deceived the whole world. He lied to everybody. Everybody believing he was God. He put up his image.
He lied to himself.
You know, he got all.
That's right.
Well,
he lied to himself.
Stupid, but this devil did all this stuff. Put his images up, set it up, painted over the true images. All of this stuff he did, being the deceiver, and like you just read in the Revelation, taking peace from the earth with that great sword. This man is really just digging himself in a ditch for doing that. So now he got to get cast out and get destroyed and go into slavery.
Yeah, he got to reap what he sowed.
That's right.
That ain't theory.
That's right.
That's right.
That's fact.
All right.
And that's Zephaniah 1 and 3. 2. I will utterly consume all things from off the land, saith the Lord. I will consume man and beast. I will consume the fowls of the heaven and the fishes of the sea and the stumbling blocks with the wicked. And I will cut off man from off the land, saith the Lord. I'm going to jump down, verse 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. Howl, ye inhabitants of Maktash. And for all the merchant people are cut down, that's your Wall Street. All they that bear silver are cut off, that's your banks. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their leaves, that say in the heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. All right, therefore their good shall become a booty, and their house a desolation, and they shall also build houses but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards but they shall not drink the wine thereof. The Most High is about to tear down everything Esau built up, like you read earlier, in the fullness of their sufficiency. Right now, Esau, Edom, they got everything. Between Vanguard and BlackRock alone, those two companies, they own the whole fucking planet.
Yeah,
right?
and they leaving the bulk of their own people out.
That's right.
They're evil unto themselves.
That's right.
All right.
That's
Get
right.
that scripture that the brother put up.
All right, this is
Lord finna strip you devils everything.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. This is he had put Job 18 and 18. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world.
No,
I know.
Ecclesiastes, but we read that one, yeah.
Okay, Sirach 40 and 15. The children of the ungodly shall not bring forth many branches, but are as unclean roots upon a hard rock. The weed growing up upon every water and bank of rivers shall be pulled up before all grass. All right, and if you go into the analogy right here, which is of the earth and the gardens, if you put any root, you pull it out of the ground. Once it's out of the ground, it's going to dry out, and once it's totally dried out, it's going to die. It will not come back. All right, and that's what the Lord is likening to you. You're going to be uprooted and put out.
Kanye said his branch won't. He won't have any branches. It's another one. I think it's Job.
Yeah,
no
son or nephew.
That's right.
Yep. It said you chop down a tree, there's a chance the tree can regrow. The sprout. We take out the roots. There's no chance.
As a matter of fact, a couple blocks from me, there's a old Iskarite lady. No, she's not. She's actually a Serbian chick. Old Serbian chick. Actually has an apple tree in front of her house, and because I actually took apples from it when I was walking the dogs, and one day I caught her out there, when she was taking care of all her plants and stuff, and I asked her, did she plant that tree herself? And she said that the people that were there before her planted that tree, and that one was new because someone crashed their car into it and knocked it over. And then years later, it just sprouted up. Right, until they kill the roots.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And you'll see, man. Even though on the east side, I go by work and you see, I see crabapple trees, very few and far between. You can see some of these trees. Matter of fact, we have one sunflower that fell over and looked like it was dead. And I just said, well, let me prop it against the garage. And next thing you know, something started growing out of it later on. You know, if you got that root in the ground, it's going to come back. If it's not, it's going to be uprooted and it's going to die.
Well, sure, it's basically was reincarnated. But get that
Isaiah
6,
Isaiah
32, 6 and 7. Barbara Shep.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 6. It says, I'll start at 5. It says, the vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against Yahweh, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right.
There it is, man. There it is. He's gonna destroy the poor with lying words. Right. It's okay to take this thing in your arm, you know. Oh no, sudden death is just just a new phenomenon. You know, people just that are all of a sudden people that are very healthy, professional athletes and teenage athletes just like fall down dead all of a sudden. But they're liars, man. So. And with that, man, we're going to give all praises, all honor and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakadash,
Wa Abba Ball.
Abba Ball.